You are about to embark on an incredible journey. In this video, we are going to demonstrate 11 essential aspects of your life that you should remove from your life in a discreet manner. We would like to extend an invitation to you to collaborate with us on this journey, to share your thoughts on each of the topics that we discuss, and to remain until the very end of the video. You are about to embark on a development and learning journey. Take advantage of the next few moments to engage in in-depth introspection and gain a deeper comprehension of who you are. We are confident that the teachings that we are going to impart to you will both enlighten and transform your life. It's time to get started. An initial point. Connections, whether they be platonic or romantic in nature. When it comes to the reasons behind the breakup of a friendship or relationship, it is extremely important to refrain from divulging private information or venting to other people. Only you and the other person involved are entitled to the intimacy that you share, and it is not necessary for other people to be aware of the reasons behind it. Because this can only lead to gossip and make the situation more complicated, nobody has the right to know about fights or terrible situations. Nobody has the right to know about them. In the event that you feel the need to communicate, conduct a conversation with yourself and think about what took place. In the event that there are still wounds that have not been healed, the desire to share may be an indication. Consequently, regardless of the circumstances, the appropriate course of action is to conduct an analysis of these behaviors in private without discussing them with other people. If there is a relationship in your life that is causing you problems, it is essential that you get rid of it without telling other people about it. In order to facilitate the process of acceptance and healing, it is beneficial to keep these matters private and to deal with the issues on an internal level. Preserve the privacy and dignity of all parties involved, and take care of your own emotional well-being in a way that is both wise and discretionary. As a second point, goals that are not necessary. There will be times when you will realize the significance of making decisions, behaving in a particular manner, or remaining true to the path that you have chosen for yourself. There will be times when you will have to give up certain objectives in order to give priority to the path that is most congruent with your essence. In light of the fact that we do not always accomplish everything we plan to do, and that there are times when it is necessary to give up some things in favor of others, it is completely normal for this to occur. Nevertheless, it is essential to eliminate these superfluous goals in a stealthy manner, without making your actions known to the entire world via broadcasting. It is important to avoid leaving any hints or information behind, as doing so could reveal your primary strategy. During this process, you should be more astute, quietly eliminating goals that are not as important and gradually implementing changes in your life as the cards are finally laid out on the table. You should always proceed with discretion, protecting your plans and allowing your decisions to be guided by authenticity, looking for the path that is most aligned with who you are. The third point is that there is no need to explain yourself to those who cause you pain when you are dealing with people who hurt you. That is not necessary. Because of the poor attitude of another person, there is no reason to complain, argue, or get into a confrontation with them. If someone has made decisions that have disrespected and hurt you, even if they were someone you thought was the perfect friend, it is best to move on without seeking justifications for those decisions. Maintain your composure and rationality while concentrating on your own development. At some point in the future, that individual might require your assistance and look to you for assistance. At that precise moment, it is sufficient to merely say no. You should also explain your reasons if you feel the need to do so. In the event that this individual failed to demonstrate their character and betrayed your trust, you are not obligated to assist them. That being said, there is no requirement to engage in conflicts or fights. The most prudent course of action is to remove that person from your life in a stealthy manner, as the passage of time will reveal the results of their actions. You should put your attention on taking care of yourself, and the future will show you what is best for the both of you. When we give ourselves permission to move forward without the need to justify or explain our decisions, we are demonstrating a profound respect for ourselves and the boundaries we have set for ourselves. Remember that we are not obligated to associate with people who are harmful to us or who do not value us. This is an important point to keep in mind. It is only fair that each one of us be accorded the respect and appreciation that we deserve for who we truly are. Therefore, when we make the courageous decision to remove those who have caused us harm from our lives, we are doing so for the sake of our emotional well-being and personal development. This decision enables us to move toward a life that is more genuine and satisfying. Point number 4. When you are experiencing periods of tension, it is important to refrain from raising your voice in front of other people and to exercise control over your expressions of excessive frustration or anger. If you are feeling upset, you should channel that feeling toward actions that will cause positive outcomes. Make use of that energy as a motivating force to move forward with your life goals and exercise your body to better deal with stress. Keep your feelings in check. Take some time to think about them, and then channel the energy you've accumulated into something that will help you become stronger. However, proceed with caution and discretion, because losing control during times of high tension can expose vulnerabilities. You should make it your goal to diffuse this tension in a covert manner by resolving issues, carrying out responsibilities, and employing reasoning as your auxiliary. Your struggles should not be broadcast to the public, but create an attitude of gratitude by valuing the things and people that are already present in your life. If you want to find a way to relieve emotional pressure in a quiet manner, you should look for ways to achieve internal balance and healthier ways of dealing with challenges. I ask that you leave a comment if you have made it this far, because it will demonstrate that you are truly interested in making a change. Don't hesitate to give this post a like and subscribe to receive more content just like this. Okay, let's proceed. The 5th point is that try to refrain from sharing your opinions with other people regarding so-and-so. To tell you the truth, you shouldn't even allow yourself to entertain such thoughts in your mind. Take into serious consideration the image that you are projecting when you speak negatively about another person. You could have a conversation that is interesting or enrich the conversation, but instead you choose to ruin the atmosphere of the conversation in order to express your negative feelings about that person. Do not act in such a manner. It is not appropriate to go around announcing who you like or dislike. Train yourself to be diplomatic. It is possible to put some distance between yourself and someone you do not like, or you can make an effort to coexist with them in a manner that is acceptable. And always behave in a thoughtful manner. Attempt to talk to that person, engage in dialogue with them, and look for a consensus if there is a problem with them. The opinions and judgments that you have about other people, on the other hand, should be removed from consideration immediately. As was mentioned earlier, regardless of whether you like or dislike someone, you should always behave diplomatically. This means demonstrating that you are capable of adjusting to new circumstances, changing and interacting with other people regardless of the differences between you and them. When you interact with other people, it is important to maintain a posture that is respectful and empathic. This will help to create a more harmonious environment and foster healthier relationships with other people. Point number 6. The pursuit of approval from outside sources. We live in a world where the value of a person frequently appears to be dependent on the opinions of other people. On the other hand, I would like to extend an invitation to you today to investigate the liberation that results from relinquishing this never-ending quest for approval. Imagine you are standing on a stage in front of an audience, and there is a crowd of people waiting to see you. Each of them has a different opinion about how you should behave, how you should speak, and how you should be. Have you any idea how suffocating this situation can be? Now visualize yourself stepping off that stage and entering a peaceful and serene space, a place where the only opinion that truly matters is your own. The significance of recognizing and appreciating your own inner voice in comparison to the noise that comes from the outside world is demonstrated by this metaphor. Whenever we make our choices and actions based on the desire to be accepted by others, we end up moving further and further away from who we truly are and what we truly want. If you are constantly trying to please other people, it is the same as trying to wear an outfit that does not fit properly. At this point, think about the times when you felt the most fulfilled and content with your life. You probably experienced those times when you were in accordance with your own personal values and beliefs, despite the fact that other people's opinions or expectations were different. This is the core of what it means to live an authentic life. However, how can we put this into practice in our day-to-day lives? In the beginning, there are baby steps. When you are about to make a decision in the future, for example, you should ask yourself, am I doing this because I truly want to, or because it's what others expect of me? You should also learn to trust your intuition and recognize your own desires and needs. Increasing your overall sense of self-worth is yet another effective practice. Appreciate the qualities you possess, rejoice in your accomplishments, and take the time to learn from your errors. Remember that self-acceptance is a process that never ends, and that even the smallest victories are significant. Lastly, cultivate relationships with people who will support and encourage you to be the best version of yourself. It is important to surround yourself with people who acknowledge and value your uniqueness and who inspire you to freely express your authentic self. When we liberate ourselves from the need to seek approval from others, we open the door to a path that is more genuine and that brings us more satisfaction. We are able to be the true protagonists of our own lives by following this path, which enables us to write our own stories with the ink of authenticity and bravery. Having said that, we will now bring this second topic to a close. We hope that it will serve as an invitation for you to contemplate the ways in which you can live a life that is more genuine, true to who you are, and free from the influence of the approval of others. The seventh point is utilization of social media with awareness. Imagine for a second that your life is a book that is packed with exciting tales, interesting experiences, and exciting adventures. Now, imagine social media as a library where millions of other stories are shared every second. If you think that sounds exciting, you are correct. In this context, however, there is a subtle risk: constant comparison. When we are flipping through the glossy pages of these digital stories, we frequently find ourselves comparing the most difficult chapters of our own stories to the most memorable moments of the stories of others. We can get caught up in a vicious cycle of dissatisfaction and envy if we make this comparison, which is frequently unfair and unrealistic. Do you see how this could potentially be harmful? Keeping this in mind, it is absolutely necessary to acquire the ability to restrict the amount of digital stories that we consume. Can you imagine making the decision to visit this online library with a specific goal in mind? After entering, you search for precisely what you require, whether it be a connection, inspiration, or information, and then you leave, returning to the reality of your own book, the book that you have written based on your life. But how exactly does one go about doing this in the real world? In order to avoid getting lost in social media at every moment of the day, you should begin by establishing specific times of the day during which you will check your accounts. These times could include breakfast, a break at work, or the end of the day. Creating a structure like this helps prevent social media from taking over your time and thoughts, which is a significant benefit. Questioning the motivations behind each and every interaction that takes place online is yet another effective strategy. This reflection can help differentiate between productive use and aimless passive consumption by asking yourself, am I seeking something constructive here, or am I just killing time? Additionally, it is of the utmost importance to be aware of the indications that social media is having a detrimental effect on your mood or self-esteem. If, after using these platforms, you find that you are experiencing feelings of depression, it may be time for you to take a break. You should make use of this time to reconnect with activities that bring you joy and satisfaction in the real world, such as reading a book, participating in a hobby, or simply taking pleasure in exploring nature. You will not only be able to safeguard your mental health by implementing these practices, but you will also be able to rediscover the splendor of your own narrative without the obligation to constantly compare it to the narratives of others. It is important to keep in mind that each of us is walking a different path, one that is full of highs and lows, victories and difficulties. To put it another way, this is precisely what makes every single story, including yours, so exclusive and valuable. Consequently, as we come to the end of this discussion, I would like to encourage you to contemplate the ways in which you can begin writing the next chapter of your story right now, with less influence from the digital world and more concentration on the things that are truly important to you in your life. This journey of self-discovery and development is something that we should embark on together. Utilize the insights of some of the most influential philosophers in history to take charge of your life. A guide to resiliency, well-being, and prosperity, Stoicism in the 21st century is your most reliable resource. It is possible to transform difficulties into victories, stress into strength, and uncertainty into clarity. The eighth point is that try to refrain from constantly comparing yourself to other people. It is important to recognize and appreciate the unique journey, accomplishments, and successes of each individual without comparing them to those of others. Engaging in the detrimental practice of comparing our lives to those of others can have a detrimental effect on our emotional well-being and impede our personal development. As a result, our self-esteem suffers because we run the risk of falling into the trap of unfavorable comparison, which causes us to concentrate on the things that we believe we are lacking rather than acknowledging our own capabilities and achievements. We lose sight of our own goals and desires when we constantly compare ourselves to others. This causes us to become distracted from what is truly important and to concentrate on what we believe we ought to have or accomplish based on the standards of others. Our progress on our journey and the accomplishment of our individual objectives are both hampered as a result of this. We can cultivate gratitude for our circumstances and celebrate our progress and growth if we refrain from comparing ourselves to others. It is important to keep in mind that every individual possesses their own way of doing things and their own set of circumstances, and that comparing yourself to others is neither fair nor healthy. Every single one of us possesses unique qualities, obstacles, and ways of living our lives. While it is more productive to concentrate on our own learning and development as individuals, it is less productive to compare ourselves to other people. The ninth one is, relationships are like mirrors that reflect various aspects of our lives, and they bring experiences that shape who we are. The way in which we handle our relationships, whether they are friendships or romantic partnerships, is essential to our development. On the other hand, there is a fine line to walk here, the line between privacy and discretion. One way to think of a relationship is as a hidden garden, a place where one can cultivate feelings, dreams, and moments that are truly meaningful. This garden is a holy place, a place that should be treated with reverence and care. It's normal to experience feelings of pain, confusion, and a need to process what happened when a relationship comes to an end, regardless of whether it was a friendship or a romantic one. Nevertheless, it is of the utmost importance to keep in mind that the particulars of this garden, as well as the story that you and the other person involved have in common, are yours alone. You are not only protecting the dignity of both parties by deciding not to disclose personal information or the reasons for the breakup, but you are also protecting your own heart by doing so. When this information is shared with other people, it can lead to misunderstandings, judgments, and an even more serious problem: gossip. Not only does this not contribute to the healing process, but it also has the potential to create a cycle of negativity and prolong the pain. In light of this, what are some healthy ways to deal with the end of a relationship? To begin, it is so important to give yourself the time and space you need to heal. Permit yourself to experience the feelings, but do so with an introspective attitude. In the event that it is required, seek the assistance of a mental health professional, someone who is able to offer objective guidance and support assistance. The second step is to make it a habit to engage in personal reflection. You should look inward rather than seeking validation or comfort from the outside world. Ask yourself what you've noticed about yourself as a result of this relationship and how you can use those insights to improve yourself. Every single relationship, even the ones that come to an end, teaches us something valuable. Remember that maintaining discretion and privacy is a sign of maturity and respect, not only for the other person but also for yourself. This is particularly important to keep in mind. As you come to the end of a chapter in your life, do so with grace and dignity, keeping in mind that every experience you have has helped you become better prepared for what lies ahead. With that, we come to the end of this third point, with the hope that it sheds light and perspective on how to approach the end of relationships with wisdom and respect, while still maintaining the dignity and privacy that both you and the other person deserve. Point number 10. Letting go of expecting things that are not possible. The purpose of this invitation is to take you on an introspective journey in which we will investigate the ways in which our expectations can mold and, at times, distort our perception of reality. Let's begin with a metaphor, shall we? Consider that your life is a grand adventure that takes place across a vast ocean. You can think of each expectation as a sail on your boat, giving you the ability to move forward in the direction of your dreams and goals. Nevertheless, when these sails are too large, when our expectations become unrealistic, they have the potential to steer us off course, leading us into turbulent waters of disappointment and dissatisfaction. Unrealistic expectations are similar to maps that promise treasures that do not exist. They cause us to pursue ideals of perfection in ourselves, in other people, and in the circumstances that we encounter. The question that we ought to ask, however, is whether or not these ideals are truly ours, or whether or not they have been imposed on us by external influences such as society, culture, or even the media. In order to start distancing ourselves from these expectations, we must first acknowledge that they exist. Because of this, honesty and introspection are required. Inquire within yourself, do these expectations serve to elevate me or to bring me down? They are a reflection of who I really am and the things that I value. Practicing acceptance of who you are, where you are in your journey, and the circumstances that you are unable to control is the next step in the aforementioned process. This does not mean that you should give up on your dreams, rather, it means that you should acknowledge and appreciate the process of getting there, with all of its flaws and difficulties. In addition, it is of the utmost importance to acquire the skill of setting goals that are not only attainable but also realistic, goals that are in harmony with your genuine self and not with an idealized concept of success. Celebration of the smaller victories along the way is another component of this. It is important to recognize that every step, regardless of how insignificant it may seem, constitutes vital progress. Last but not least, keep in mind that the journey itself is just as significant as the destination. When you let go of expectations that are not realistic, you make it possible for life to flow more naturally and peacefully, which creates room for unexpected pleasures and surprises that could not have been planned for. With that, we come to the end of this fourth point, and we hope that it motivates you to navigate life with sails that are adjusted to reality, appreciating the beauty of the journey with all of its twists and turns and discoveries. The 11th point is that now we are going to enter a territory that is frequently ignored in our day-to-day interactions, but which has a significant impact on our well-being and the relationships that we cultivate the act of participating in gossip and spreading negativity. In the following section, we will discuss how the decision to put some distance between ourselves and these behaviors can not only improve our mental state, but also enhance the quality of the relationships we have with other people. Picture each and every word that we utter as a seed that we sow in the garden that is our lives as well as the lives of those around us. Choosing to speak words that are supportive, encouraging and positive is like planting the seeds of kindness and understanding in the minds of others. On the other hand, when we get involved in gossip or negative talk, we are sowing the seeds of misunderstandings, mistrust, and conflict. The act of engaging in gossip may appear to be harmless or even a form of social connection. However, in reality, it is a two-way street that leads to disrespect and the devaluation of both ourselves and others. A mindset that obscures our ability to see the good and positive things that are going on around us is nourished when we concentrate on the negative aspects of the situation. How then can we deviate from this course of action and select a more constructive way forward? First and foremost, it is essential to be conscious of the conversation that we are a part of. When you notice that a conversation is beginning to veer off into gossip or criticism that is not necessary, you should try to change the subject or bring attention to something positive about the person or situation that is being discussed. You should also work on developing empathy, asking yourself, would I want this to be said about me before speaking or sharing something about another person, is a powerful way to ensure that our conversations are respectful and constructive. Before you speak or share something about someone, ask yourself this question. The cultivation of a positive environment around you is another important step that you should take. In your interactions with others, surround yourself with people who also place a high value on positivity and authenticity. You have the ability to establish a culture of mutual respect and support by working together. Last but not least, keep in mind that change begins with you. By making the conscious decision to abstain from engaging in gossip and negative discourse, you are not only safeguarding your own integrity, but also serving as a model for others to follow. Through the implementation of these principles in our lives, we have the ability to cultivate a mindset that is more optimistic, empathic, and resilient, which in turn contributes to more genuine personal growth and more meaningful interpersonal relationships. If you found the video to be enjoyable, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to be notified of new videos, and of course leave a like and comment on the comment section. At this moment, you will see 2 more videos appear on your screen. As you travel along the path of wisdom, remember to stay with the Creator